Good afternoon. Rich Nass, Executive Vice President of Open Systems Media, here for my weekly chat with Ray Zinn, the longtime CEO of Micrel, the podcaster, the author, and the guy who seems to know a lot about just about any topic I could throw at him. Good afternoon, Ray.
Whoa. Good afternoon to you, Rich. That's a tall drink of water.
Okay, well, you're up to it so far, so I'm going to keep rolling.
Okay.
So here's a topic that you probably know a real lot about. We are on the heels of two very large mergers in our industry. One sort of in our industry, one not so close. But AT&T bought Time Warner for, I think it was like $85 billion or something like that. And then last week Qualcomm announced that they were buying NXP for, I heard a bunch of different numbers, anywhere from $37 billion to $45 billion. But, I mean, this is crazy what's happening here. But is there any motivation behind this besides the investors want to get rich?
Well, scale is important. If you look at what's happened to the U.S. economy over the past 8 years, we've had virtually no growth. And just to give a little economic history lesson here, we have discretionary income, which is the money we can spend on whatever we want. Then we have the non-discretionary income, which is the money we can't avoid spending. It's just part of our existence: food, raiment, and so forth. And so the electronics industry, and for that matter, even Time Warner, are AT&T. I've forgotten who is acquiring who, but I think AT&T is acquiring Time Warner.
Yes, that is correct.
But they rely heavily on discretionary income, not non-discretionary. The ag culture is more non-discretionary. Housing tends to be less discretionary. So both of those companies rely on the growth of the economy to stimulate their stock or their company itself. So with growth below 4% GDP, there's virtually no discretionary income. And without discretionary income, these guys, to grow, have to do acquisitions. Interest rates are low, and that precipitates said acquisitions, and as well as the fact that by acquiring a company, you can show growth, albeit it's kind of false in a way, because after you acquire them, and then a year from now, you're going to be stuck trying to grow the combined companies. But nevertheless, you can show growth by virtue of acquiring another company. And the interest rates are low and allows them to acquire these companies at a reasonable cost. And so that's why you have this acquisition mania going on, because we precipitate that vis-a-vis the low GDP, low growth, and low interest rates.
But going back to my original question, does anybody benefit beside the investors when these acquisitions happen?
I don't know that the customers benefit, so I don't see any benefit there. The industries that they serve, some slight benefit there. The growth of the company might help the employees that stay with them. I mean, they're there. I mean, that gives them some stability. But certainly it's not going to be good for the employees that are let go. And we know that every deal requires some synergies, which means that you have to show some cost savings vis-a-vis the acquiring company. You don't need two audit firms. You don't need double lawyers. You don't need more than one accounting department or sales department. So there is some consolidation of duties that can go on when you do this acquisition. So the primary benefit to those companies that are low, they're not growing well, and need to grow in order to increase their stock. And so that's kind of what's causing, I think, this acquisition mania, is that they're saying this is a way to increase their stock, both from the acquiring company as well as the target company.
So I'm guessing that your guess is that we haven't seen the last of these acquisitions in the short term.
Not until interest rates get up over 3%, or maybe up to 5 even, because that now will really cause some difficulty in doing the synergies, because the cost of money is going to increase. So that's an issue. And then of course if they start growing again organically, because the growth, the economy is growing, then there's less need to do the acquisition. So there are some things that could happen. The beach ball effect. It'll ultimately turn around, and depending upon who gets in to lead the country here in the next week or so.
Very good. Okay, so I will keep my eyes peeled and on the lookout for the next one.
Very good.
Anything you want to announce? Anything you know about out there?
Well, we're just flailing away at doing our podcast and getting our book out there, getting more followers. So any help we can get with that, we'd appreciate. So you can look us up on toughthingsfirst.com and follow us and listen to our podcast as well as the articles we write and the blogs that we do. So we're out there trying to help, not making any money at this, but I'm just trying to help people learn about being entrepreneurs and leaders.
Very good, and you do it quite well.
Well, thank you.
That was this week's chat with Ray Zinn, and I'm Rich Nass, and hope you have a great day, Ray, and I will talk to you next week.
Well, thanks, Rich.